Good morning. My name is Kevin Burt with the Department of Workforce Services Unemployment Insurance Division. And today I'll be reporting out on Utah's unemployment insurance claims for the week of December 6th through December 12th. So the week ending December 12th, we saw 4,386 new claims. Last week that number was 4,758. So total new claims for this previous week went down about 8%. Total benefits paid for last week was $9,659,812. For some context, as it's always a little helpful to have some of that context, we had 4,386 claims last week. In 2019, the average number of weekly new claims was 1,100. So even 8 to 9 months after the initial stages of the pandemic, we continue to see about 4 times more claims than we did in 2019. The traditional state benefit new claims went down by 6.711%. The pandemic unemployment assistance, which is the unemployment for the self-employed, the temporary program, went down 5.7%. And the extended benefit, which is an additional 13 weeks of federally funded benefits that is also temporary, also went down 16.3%. Now, it's important with this data to not be a zealous Xander because it did go down 8%, and last week it went up 35%. And so we've seen a lot of variability to the volume of new claims over the last 3 weeks. And we think that most of it is related to the Thanksgiving week. During the week of Thanksgiving, we saw a reduction of about 21% in new claims, which was artificially low, we believe, because of the holiday. And then what that did is it generated more work the following week, where that week was up 35% compared to the reduction of 21%. So we believe the week of Thanksgiving was artificially low. The week after Thanksgiving was artificially high. And then this week it is a little bit more of what we are expecting moving forward. And so that's why dropping 8% seems like a good indication, but it is comparing it to a week that we believe to be artificially high. And there are clearly continued disruptions to employment as we have 4,400 people applying for unemployment insurance in a single week. Continued claims is another indicator that we look at every week. Continued claims, remember, an individual applies for unemployment and then every week they have to apply. It's a way to request the benefit every single week and report on your eligibility. You have to report that you looked for work, that you did your work, and that you're able and available to be able to continue to receive the benefit and be eligible for that benefit. That ended the week at 26,442 Utahns that are applying for the continued claim. That number is actually down for 32 consecutive weeks. It is, however, again, starting to stabilize. Compared to 2 weeks ago, that number is down about 3%, and the week before is about 1% down. So it is certainly starting to plateau. We were seeing significant reductions early in the summer, and while we continue to see reductions, it is certainly starting to slow down. And so, I often get asked if it is somewhat related to individuals exhausting their benefit, and the answer again is yes. Unemployment insurance is time limited, so there's only a certain number of weeks that can be claimed. However, we do believe the majority of the cases are individuals that have been able to reconnect back into the workforce and are no longer requesting the benefit. The traditional state unemployment benefit went down a little less than 1%. In fact, it was about 0.711%. The pandemic unemployment assistance, again, the self-employed, went down about 9.3%, and the extended benefit went down about 4.7%. 28,000 is, or 27,000 is still a lot of individuals that are in need of the benefit. For comparison, last year, the average continued claim was about 9,000 Utahns that were needing the benefit. And then we are going to open it up to questions, but I do again have to restate it is being a little bit of a repeating Rowan, but the CARES Act programs currently are set to expire on December 26th. And that will have a significant impact to individuals that are receiving the benefit. The two main programs that will impact the most individuals that are expiring on December 26th are the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which is the unemployment for the self-employed. That was for individuals that are traditionally not eligible for state unemployment benefits. It was a temporary, fully federally funded program through the CARES Act. The last time that will be paid out is December 26th, and the last time it can be. It won't be eligible for payout or for application after that date. Also, for individuals that were on a state benefit that exhausted their state benefit, a state benefit can be up to 26 weeks. The CARES Act introduced a 13-week extended federally funded benefit that is also set to expire on December 26th of 2020, meaning individuals that are currently on the extended benefit, the last time that you will receive a payment is December 26th, and there is no individuals that can receive it beyond that date, according to the current CARES Act expiration date. Now, it is important to note that there is certainly a lot of discussion about extension to stimulus payments, and that absolutely could change. But regardless of the outcome, we always try to emphasize there is simply not stability in the unemployment benefit, and the best option is for individuals to actively look for work. Utah has a diverse economy. It has many opportunities, and there are some industries that have proven to be incredibly resilient, and there are some industries that are growing. There are jobs available. You have to broaden your search and look for those opportunities that exist in this pandemic, while the industries that have really suffered continue to suffer as the numbers increase. There is possibility that we'll be able to recover quickly with the vaccine, and there is a possibility that there will be some extension to the benefits, but again, the stability will be found in employment, and we will continue to emphasize and encourage actively looking for work. And to wrap up before questions, so total claims since the start of the pandemic, at least as relates to increase in claims seen by our division with March 15th, we have 362,884 new claims have been filed since March 15th. For comparison, last year, we took 63,000 claims for the entire year. We have paid out $1.65 billion in unemployment benefits since March 15th. Last year, we paid out a total of $150 million in benefits. So it certainly has been impactful, but it also certainly supported many Utahns during this time while they're able to actively look for work and reconnect back to the workforce. And with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for any questions. Sure. And so the question is, so individuals that are newly applying, and is there a wait time from the date of application to approval, and what happens during that process? So there's a couple things that are really important. Certainly if you're new to applying for unemployment insurance, you have to submit your initial claim, and then you have to file a weekly claim every single week. And that is your attestation of your current circumstance, as well as a request for the benefit every single week. If an individual does not file their continued claim, it is essentially saying, I am no longer needing the benefit, and the claim will not be processed. So the question is, how long does it take to process the claim? Unemployment insurance, over 90% of claims are processed within 30 days. And why does it take time? Remember that when you file for an unemployment claim, it is against your employer. So we have to get a statement from your employer to be able to verify whether you are unemployed through no fault of your own. The unemployment insurance program is a tax against Utah employers that is paid based on their experience with unemployment, meaning how many of their employees qualify for unemployment insurance. So because it affects their tax rates, we take the attestation of you as a claimant but we also must allow time for the employer to respond, and then we adjudicate that decision. So there'll be two steps. We do a monetary calculation based on your wages, and then we do a separation decision, which is based on the separation of employment, based on the information provided by both your employer and you as an employee to determine whether you are eligible for the benefit. And then once it is approved, it will be paid retroactive to the date of application. But again, it's about over 90% are processed within 30 days and will be paid retroactively. It is important to, as a reminder as well, the individuals that are answering the phone calls are the same individuals that are processing the claims. And so there is always trying to find that balance of being able to respond to the calls, but make sure that we're staying caught up on the processing of the claims. In unemployment insurance, there is not a need to contact us. If we have a question about your claim or questions that we need answered to make a decision, we will actually proactively contact you. There's also a comment about Okay. And so the question is now is, okay, there's individuals that we've have been reporting getting notices about overpayments of the unemployment insurance program. Are there overpayments in unemployment insurance, and are people expected to pay them back? And the answer is yes. We are actively pursuing any individuals that are not accurately reporting information and qualifying for unemployment benefits that they should not qualify for. Remember, unemployment insurance, again, is a tax paid for by Utah employers that is deposited into a trust fund. The solvency of that trust fund determines the tax rate each year, meaning how much is in that trust fund will determine the tax rate each year. If the tax fund is depleted, the taxes increase. So it's very critical to make sure that people who are eligible for the benefit receive it, but also to make sure people who are not eligible for the benefit do not receive it. And so the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to creating overpayments are on those continued weekly claims. It will ask you very directly every single week the factors of eligibility. And as long as you are accurate and honest in the answers to those questions, you will not experience overpayments. But it will ask if you are able and available for work. And if you are not, you're not eligible for the benefit. You have to be physically able to work to receive unemployment insurance. Another common mistake is work and earnings. If you are working every single week, you have to report the dollar amount that you earned. And then we will use that to either prorate the unemployment benefit or determine you to be in excess of earnings, meaning you're not eligible for the benefit, which will prevent an overpayment. Another one is the job search. You have to be actively looking for work. We do randomly sample and audit cases to determine whether the person reporting job search actually filed an application for those jobs and will contact those employers. So individuals that are not really applying for jobs but report they are, individuals that are not available for work but report that they are, or individuals that are working but report that they are not working, that will result in overpayments, and those will be pursued to be able to replenish the trust fund and keep those tax rates low and keep the integrity of the program up. So if you receive an overpayment, it will provide information of how you can contact the department to start to resolve that. But for those of you who have not gotten a letter of an overpayment, please make sure every single week you do a continued claim that you are accurate in every single attestation that you put, because if not, it will likely result in an overpayment that must be paid back. So the question is, okay, with CARES Act, potential extension stimulus talks, potential additional weeks of unemployment, potential stimulus payments of unemployment, is that potential of increased fraud in the unemployment insurance program? And again, I think the answer is yes. Whenever there are funds available, and whenever there's a stimulus payment with that, making it a more generous benefit, of course, there are more opportunity or more desire to collect that benefit, which could result in increase in at least fraud attempts. However, we believe in Utah we are very good at finding and detecting that fraud and collecting that fraud. So it's very critical to understand, again, if there are stimulus talks and those pass and become available, that you still are honest and accurate every single week that you file, or else it will result in overpayments. Remember, right now, unemployment is about a 40 to 50% replacement wage. If there's a stimulus payment put on top of that, that will be maybe a 60, 70, 80% replacement wage. However, if you are determined to be paid incorrectly that week, it is also a larger overpayment dollar amount. So again, it's incredibly critical to be accurate in your attestations so that you do not have overpayments. You have to be able and available. You have to be actively looking for work. You have to job search and actually do 4 job contacts every single week. And you have to report earnings that you earned during the week, not when you received it. You have to report, I worked 20 hours this week at this dollar hour, so I made this much, and report that. We have been actively trying to educate individuals. When you first apply for unemployment, you are required to watch a video that walks through every single step. We send out a claimant guide that kind of walks through every single step, and then the continued claim is step by step. Just make sure that you're accurately attesting to what is occurring in your current employment situation to make sure that you receive the benefit that you are eligible for, but that you avoid any overpayments for receiving a benefit that you are not eligible. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end today's briefing. Thank you.